Hey guys, Curry and Chips Mining here. Part 3 of GPU mining, a beginner's guide. And the previous two videos we've looked at hardware, what components go into building a GPU rig. The second video we gave a bit of an overview in terms of hashrate.no and working out profitability of a certain card. And in this example we're actually using the RTX 3090 because there is a rig for sale. It's a nicely built rig. It's about £9,000. We're just going to call that $9,000 in the example. We have done our calculation and it works out the most profitable coin to mine on that because of the cost of electricity. Right now, of today's date, it is coming up to the end of January 2024, is a crypto called Alephium. But that is as much as we know. Should I mine it? How do I find out if a project is worthwhile mining? Is it a good thing to mine or not? Well, we were just talking about earlier. We were on hashrate.no, we clicked on Alephium and it brings us up with this lovely screen. And this is a really, really helpful screen because it tells us a few really key things. It tells us the price action, whether this thing's going up in value or down in value. It gives us a nice little chart. This is really helpful because if you've seen a chart where it starts up here and then dives down and it's kind of down here, well, that's not a great thing to be doing. If something's consistently rising up slowly like that, that gets my attention. You've then got on here, and I just pointed out in the last video, I'm going to talk about now in a bit of detail. You've got something that if you've bought crypto before, if you've messed around, and I hate to use the word normie, but they're quite often referred to as normies, and I used to definitely be a normie, and in many ways I probably still am, and that is basically the typical, you're down the pub, down a bar, you're chatting to friends, and they're like, hey guys, have you checked out this new crypto called Alephium? I bought some, it's flying, it's killing, it's going mad. Like this crypto here, it's doubled in value almost in a month. Okay. And you might just then jump on an exchange account like CoinEx, Binance, Coinbase, whatever, loads of them. There's so many of them, and just bought some. Well, you haven't done any research. You just got your mate telling you. Well, the first thing of why I love GPU mining is by the time the normies already know about these cryptos, the chances are miners knew about them ages ago, maybe as much as 18 months ago, maybe even 2 years before. And not only were they aware of it, they've been mining it, and they've been mining it when its value was considerably lower than it was when it got listed on that big exchange that you can just quickly access on your mobile phone and buy some with your credit card or your bank transfer or whatever then. So, you know, you might be paying 50p for something, or in this example, you might be paying $1.89 for an Alephium. I've been mining this months. I haven't paid $1.89 for it. I've been mining it. I may have been profitable at mining it, at what I originally started with, but I've been mining it, I've been accumulating it, and I've been focusing on it. And one of the things to look out for is this thing here, which is the network difficulty. Now, we're going to go to a next website, and this is the next one you want to bookmark, which is called miningpoolstats.stream. And miningpoolstats.stream is a website that lists all the cryptos that can be mined out there, whether they can be mined by ASICs, whether they can be mined by CPUs or by GPUs. And you can filter them by algorithms, and you will learn as you get on your kind of GPU mining venture that certain algorithms can be mined with GPU hardware, some can be mined with ASICs, and some can be mined with CPUs. And you'll learn what your equipment can ultimately mine, and it's important that you understand that. You might get into mining and think, yeah, I'm going to mine Bitcoin. Well, you buy some GPUs, you ain't going to mine Bitcoin. Certainly not directly mine Bitcoin, because you can't. It's not possible. So what you would need to do is you can then filter by algorithm, and this is a list of them. So like, for example, we mentioned on a previous video Kapow. You can mine Kapow with a graphics card. But there we go. Alephium. Now this is really interesting. What this actually does, this initial screen, this isn't organizing cryptos by their value. It may appear like that. What this is actually doing is it's listing them in their emissions. So in other words, how much new crypto of this is being mined every 24 hours in US dollars, in millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you can see that there is 44.73 million of US dollars worth of Bitcoin mined every day, which is just crazy. And in fact, Bitcoin pretty much equates to about 50% of all cryptos in terms of monetary value and the total market cap. But what's really interesting is Alephium is another 24. And I guarantee you mentioned Alephium to just any normal person, they haven't even heard of it. So what does that start to point out? Well, first of all, it points out that miners are definitely mining it. And why would they be mining it? Well, they're mining it because this thing's definitely got something about it. But what has it got about it? So on Mining Pool Stats, we're now going to click on Alephium. We're going to have a little dig a little bit deeper. And what this shows you is it shows you all the mining pools that you can mine a GPU too. And the way I'd explain this is a mining pool. There's two types of mining, really. There's pool mining and there's solo mining. Pool mining is where you put your effort, and it's measured in hash rate, into a pool of lots of other miners, could be thousands, to ultimately hit a block on that blockchain. And if you don't know about that, you need to go and watch guides on blockchain. Okay, I'm not going to explain blockchain in this series of videos. But ultimately, once a block is hit, the crypto that you are mining rewards the miners in that crypto for solving that block. And that's ultimately what you're doing. You're using your computing power, in this way, graphics cards, to help solve that block. And then once you solve that block, the rewards from it are given to the pool. And if you're pool mining, they are then distributed between all the miners that are mining based on the amount of effort that they put into it. So if it took 100 mega hash, this is just, I'm doing this for maths cases, this isn't a real case example. If it took 100 mega hash and one guy had 90 mega hash of that hash rate, and then 10 others had 1 mega hash each, and the reward was 10 of that crypto. 9 of them would go to Mr. 90 mega hash, theoretically, just to keep it simple. The other 1 would be split into 0.1s between the other 10. And that's pretty much how it's done. And these pools are effectively websites and mining pools where this company, Hero Miners, Woolly Pulley, all these different ones, allow miners to join a pool and mine that crypto. And what happens is you tell your miner to mine to that pool, and then once it hits blocks, whatever, whether you pool mining, you then get paid your rewards, and the mining pool pays your rewards to a wallet that you have chosen to take your rewards to. Now we can see on this particular algorithm and this particular crypto, Hero Miners has got 84% of the known hash rate. Now that actually isn't a good thing. You'd really like this to be a bit more distributed. And what it also shows you is the difficulty of the mining pool and how busy it was. And earlier when we were looking at this here, it told us that the network difficulty was 1.3 P. P stands for petahash. The busier the network gets, the more people are mining it, your rewards are going to lower because it's being shared across more people. It's like having a pizza that you're taking slices of. The more people that want a slice of pizza, the less the size of slice of pizza you're going to get. So the busier the hash rate, the less your rewards are going to be. But the busier the hash rate is because more people are jumping on it, and that means the network is growing, which means the value of the crypto is almost certainly going up. And a real fine example of this is a crypto called Casper. Now, I was lucky enough to start mining Casper very, very early on. And when Casper first came out, you could mine it with graphics card. You now can't mine it with graphics cards. And the reason why you can't mine it with graphics cards is the network difficulty has become so big that the effort that you put in from a graphics card just simply isn't enough to justify the rewards back to you. Because there's so much hash rate, there's so much effort going in. In that scenario we gave earlier, where one guy was giving 90% of it, you just physically couldn't. You'd have to have some serious hardware to do that. It'd be impossible. And the reason why that's measured is it's measured in the network hash rate. So Alephium we just looked at had a network difficulty of 1.6 petahash. Casper is up to 161 petahash. So it's 161 times busier or more difficult to mine than Alephium. So therefore the hardware that you would need to have 161 times more hashing power than you would theoretically to mine Alephium. And therefore the rewards are dropping. And an example of that, when I first started mining Casper, I was using GPUs and I was getting gigahash of hash rate. So that's 1 mega hash, 100 mega hash, 1000 mega hash is a gigahash. Okay, so I had about, I don't know, let's say 8 gigahash. I was getting about 800 Casper per day. I now have little mini ASICs that are chucking out a terahash, so 1000 gigahash and I'm making about 50 Casper a day. So that gives you an understanding of how important it is to understand how busy a network becomes and what effect that has on your mining rewards. Because as the mining rewards, if it goes up, your rewards are going to reduce. There is a massive counter to that, and that is the value of the crypto. So we're going to bounce to another website now, and I'm going to use CoinGecko. There is also one called CoinMarketCap, which is really good. I personally prefer CoinGecko because CoinMarketCap, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is actually owned by Binance. So therefore, some of the figures on it could be a little bit tweaked with, but CoinGecko isn't. It's independent. So let's just have a quick look at Casper on CoinGecko. And CoinGecko, bookmark this, allows you to check all the markets, see all the crypto, see all the values, all that kind of fun and exciting stuff, and build up portfolios and manage all of your portfolio and what you're mining. But we're going to have a look at Casper here, and I'm going to show you something that'll be really interesting. So if we look at the maximum history of Casper, so I started mining Casper around this time, around October 22. I wasn't right at the beginning, but I certainly was early, and I was earning, 800 Casper a day, maybe more here. And I know that because I like to record videos to reference back to, and I finally found one the other day where I first found it, and I was dual mining Casper with something else. But you can see now, look at the value of Casper, and bear in mind, we haven't even hit what's called a bull run. And if you don't know what a bull run is, you really do need to learn, and you need to research this stuff before you go out and spend a few $1,000s or a few £1,000 on some GPUs. But you can see Casper is not a well-known coin yet, and it hasn't even been listed on the normie exchanges that everyone knows about, and it has consistently gone up and up and up. And as the network has grown, it's gone up and up and up. So, when I was mining it originally, it was around here. It was around 0.025 cents. We're now up to 10 cents. Well, that is a huge difference in terms of monetary value. So, just to give you an idea, and this is why I love GPU mining, and that whole $3 profit a day that we were looking at earlier might be off-putting. But I was mining 800 Casper a day. How much is that worth? 10 cents a coin, $80 a day I was mining. Well, all of a sudden, that $9,000 for a GPU rig doesn't actually seem so scary. And this is why the hardware is important. Of course it is. Where you live it, where you put it is important. How you call it is important. How you look after it is important. But what you mine is the most important. Because if you do your research, you really speak to other miners, you check out videos from influencers and decent people out there, you can mine something and it could grow. And if we now look at that coin Alephium that we came up on our most profitable, and let's see, could it be another Casper? Probably not. Casper's quite a unique project which has really flown. But let's look at it. Brilliant. It's a very similar chart. Came out over here a little bit earlier than Casper, and it was released on exchanges. You could buy some and the value then dipped. This is really, really common in any stocks and shares. Comes on at a price and then it starts to dip. It's then teetered around here. It's had a little pump, but then look what's happening. Still never been for a bull run. The last bull run was in 2021, and it's just going up and up and up and up. So this to me looks like something that's good. So yeah, we're now here. The network is at 1.6 petahash, and we're mining something that's 189. But again, GPU miners might have gotten in over here, and it was 16 cents a coin, and they would have been mining more coins per day because the network hash rate would have been easier. So it's all about finding those early projects and getting in and picking the right safe option. So let's say you're now thinking, okay, the chart looks good. I found mining pools. I can mine it. That's pretty simple. There's a huge choice. I can pool mine it. I completely forgot to mention, guys, solo mine. What the hell is solo mining? I'll pretty tell you. Solo mining is where you go for solving a block on your own. Risky. If you're a gambler, you might love it. But ultimately, if you don't solve that block on your own, you're not going to get any rewards. If you do solve a block on your own, you're going to get all the rewards. On something with a big hash rate like this, it's riskier. On some really small cryptos that are new or the network isn't very busy, it's less risky. Sometimes it's worth doing a test. If you've got two rigs that are the same hardware, stick one on solo, stick one on pool, see which revenue comes out most after a week. If you don't hit a block in a week on solo, then you know for a fact it's definitely going to be pool. But that is ultimately the difference. So you've got your price action. You know how busy the network is. You know that there's pools to mine. You know it's profitable per month, and it's only making you $3 at the moment. a day. But let's get excited now. All of a sudden, this thing could pump. It could do another Casper. It could 10x. It could 100x. You know, Casper has well and truly more than 100x. I think it's 3000x in the last 18 months. So what happens if all of a sudden this 10x's and it gets to a bull run and it's sort of all of a sudden, instead of it being worth 189 a coin or a token, I always get confused whether to use coin or token. I think it's token. So being worth 189, it's suddenly going to be worth 10 times that. 1890. Okay. Wow. And how many coins were we going to mine with our nice rig that we had earlier? Let's have a little look. We'll go back on our hashrate.no. We're going to go back to our calculator. It's going to load up. We're going to look at Alephium. How many rewards are we going to get? We're going to yield 3 Alephium a day. Okay, well, that's actually suddenly looking good because we know that we're making $2.84 profit at 10 cents per kilowatt at the moment. But if it suddenly jumped up to 18.9, I can't type today. That's 57 bucks worth of crypto minus a power. We're suddenly making $45 a day. That is where it starts to get exciting. But is it that simple? Absolutely not. No, of course it isn't. Because as we've seen that Casper example I just gave, as Alephium becomes more popular, it becomes harder to mine. You get less rewards, but you hope that the value of the crypto goes up. So you've got to look at that. So I hope this makes sense and resonates with people. Don't go into this blindly. You know, this is really, really important stuff, guys. You know, do your research. And if you want to go further than that, and I would encourage you to, because now this is now looking up and stacking like a good project. What do we do now? Do I go out and mine this? Now let's do some other exploring. Let's have a look at their official website. How good does this look? Looks quite professional. Okay, have a read through it. See what the fundamentals of that crypto are. See what it actually does. Does it have any use cases? Does it actually do anything? Does it have a team that is published who you know who they actually are? How is that crypto distributed? Now, that's the tokenomics of it. And again, if you're new to GPU mining or even crypto itself, you might not have a clue what that even means. But effectively, it's how that crypto is rewarded. So let's just, again, we'll make up figures. Let's say there was 100 tokens. There's not, there's going to be millions. But let's say there was 100 tokens. And you and me have the access to mine 40% of that. So 40 tokens. Okay, this is a bit of a crazy example, actually, but it's just about simple maths. Well, what the hell about the other 60? Who's getting that? Well, if you look into the tokenomics, you might find actually that the other 60 has been allocated to venture capitalists, backers, the dev team. Well, that's not really a good situation to be in, because although I'm between the miners, the millions of miners out there, we're only going to get 40% of this beast, and the other 60% is going to go to people that chuck money in the beginning. Well, what's going to happen then is that crypto pumps and the value goes up. What's going to stop that team, unless it's got real world use case, from just selling their tokens? And then 60% of it just gets dumped. So you want to look at this. You want to look at the use case. You want to look at the professionalism of the website. You want to see if it's a published team. You want to find out the tokenomics. Has it got a VC back? Was it a fair launch crypto? Can it be mined? What algorithm is it on? All this kind of stuff. So do that research and look into that. And that's where the this one, the hashrate.no website, is also really helpful, because it gives you links to the official website. It gives you links to the Explorer, which is where you can check out all of the crypto exchanges and transactions on that network. It also gives you links to the GitHub, which is you can download things like white papers and sometimes the wallet to mine it to. It gives you links to CoinMarketCap. We've just been looking at CoinGecko, but CoinMarketCap, which is another version of something like that. But it also gives you the social channels, the Discord group, the Reddit group, the Telegram group, and the Twitter group. This is all good signs, guys, the fact they've got all of these. Join the Discord. Have a look at what people are talking about. How active are the team behind this Alephium? Are they regularly posting notifications, or is it just dead and a dead zone? Because if it's just dead and that token is dipping and it's not looking good, it might not be something you want to mine. But yeah, that is part 3 of GPU mining. I hope it's helpful, and I look forward to checking you guys out in the next video. Thank you very much.